With the 2023 NFL Draft just days away, it's time for another A-plus mock draft here in the Sportsocracy. And it's time for Fire Them Cannons, by golly, put more powder in those things. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got to enjoy it while you can.
Yes, because it's getting ready to get ugly in a hurry.
We've come to a close on the championship years. It's going to be a little lean for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially in 2023, but chance to build for the future with the draft. You have the 19th overall selection in the first round.
And now you have to remember, this is a best-case scenario, and I don't have a great read currently on the tackles because I feel like they're going to get pushed down a little bit because of what happens with the quarterbacks.
Okay, you're talking my language. Let's go. Give me one that I like.
Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia.
Okay, I like that one.
Look, the thing about Broderick Jones is that his high side is through the roof. His floor is probably lower than you want it to be for where you're going to have to take him here because he just hasn't played that much. I mean, he started 15 games his entire career. Mm-hmm. Came in for Jamari Sawyer in his redshirt freshman year. So I like the kid a lot. And I will tell you, if Paris Johnson Jr. is off the board for the Jets at 13, they're taking Broderick Jones. The thing is, I can't really find a team in between them. So if Paris Johnson's on the board, Broderick Jones easily could fall to 19, and he would be an absolute home run for Tampa Bay because this is the guy you slide on the left side. Tristan Wirfs stays on the right. And now your line is intact. I still have issues with your quarterback, but there's just not much I can do for you there. You're vested in Baker Mayfield, what little bit it is, and Kyle Trask is a backup. But Will Levis is going at 4. I don't think you would make a move up on Stroud, and I don't think you would make a move up on Richardson. You're the Georgia guy. The raw on Broderick Jones itself is tantalizing.
Oh,
because he's freakishly athletic.
Yeah, he is incredible. And this would be best possible scenario for Tampa that he falls this far. I mean, I'm hearing he could go inside the top 10.
He's not going inside the top 10.
So, Broderick Jones.
Darnell Wright is really what's doing this because apparently Chicago is just in love with Darnell Wright.
Okay.
So that's what's pushing him down just a little bit. I have Skoronski going at 10. In my final mock draft, I have Skoronski going at 10, then the 2 quarterbacks. The Jets take Paris Johnson, and then Broderick Jones falls right there to you.
All right, Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle from the Georgia Bulldogs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 19. How about in the second round, pick 50?
Felix Anadike Uzama.
He's edge rusher from Kansas State. I like it.
And look, to me, I think you have to understand exactly what he is. The reason that he falls here is because he's not as good a pass rusher as, say, a Will McDonald or one of those guys. I don't know that he ever will be, but I think he comes in immediately and will add something to your pass rush. The thing I like about Uzama is, yes, his pass rush is not as high as some of those other guys. I actually think he has the ability to hold up 3 down. You're just going to have to work with him because he plays like his hair's on fire. But he's got the long arms. He's got all the things you could ever possibly want. You're just going to have to round him out.
In the 3-4 scheme, does he stand up or is he on the end on the line?
I think he can stand up. That might add a year to the upside of him learning how to do that. I think he can. But I will say I like him better at the end of a 4-man front because I think he can do that quicker. His upside might be higher standing up, though.
In the third round, pick number 82.
This replaces a player that you lost, and I really feel like it affected your defense. Sidney Brown, safety out of Illinois. You actually had top 30 visits with him and his brother. Now, I am not as wild about Chase as I am about Sidney. I think Sidney is probably the second best safety in this class. You get away from Brian Branch, who I'm not 100% sure if he's a slot corner I just don't really know what he does.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jordan Whitehead in terms of physicality. This is Jordan Whitehead, not lead-footed. That's how I view him. And I think he's a weird profile for me because I love him in your scheme. I don't like him in some of the others where he's going to be asked to do things that I'm not necessarily sure he can do. He can cover a tight end. Mm-hmm. He can absolutely drop the hammer, and he's a pretty good ball hawk. He's just a little tight. So if you're asking him to line up in the slot, man, he's not going to be able to do that. Might be able to do it on a tight end. He's not doing it on a receiver.
2 picks in the 5th round for Tampa Bay. First one at 153.
Drunk. I am drunk on this kid.
Roschon Johnson, the running back out of Texas.
Well, I fully believe that you believe in Rachaad White as your running back. You want thunder and lightning, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
If Roschon Johnson had gone anywhere else, I think he would be a day 2 pick. And he may still be. There may be a team that's as in love with him as I am, because I think this is the thunder to Rachaad White's lightning. You want somebody to run between the tackles? Roschon Johnson can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You want somebody that's going to break tackles. You want somebody that's not going to fumble the ball right here. The only thing you have to understand is that he is not straight line fast. He is not – I don't think he's ever a bell cow, but he could be. He's the last running back to me that could be, because I'm not sure that he didn't take such a backseat to Bijan Robinson that he didn't develop fully, and a year or two in the league, this could be – I mean, a lot of people ask me about running backs, and it's very rarely this kid, and I really don't know.
So this is a surefire replacement for
Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette.
He's the bulldozer.
Yep.
And that's really the best way I can say it.
Okay. At number 175 in the 5th round, Payne Durham, tight end from Purdue.
I keep giving this guy to teams, especially when they have – if you're taking one of the young linemen – because this is one of the best blocking tight ends in the class, and he could be an elite blocker down the line. He's another one. He doesn't play fast. And this is a 4'9", 40 guy at 6'6", 253 pounds. So can he be a red zone threat? Yes. I think he is a good enough receiver. People kind of lost their shit on him after the Senior Bowl, and that has waned. As the tight end class has gotten better, he's been pushed down slightly more because he's not that athletic move tight end piece. No, he's a Y. He's a Y that's going to play in line and help you in the run game, and he's enough of a threat as a receiver that he's not an absolute liability.
In the 6th round, first of 3 picks, comes at 179 overall, Clayton Tune, quarterback from Houston.
He's a better quarterback than Kyle Trask.
Really?
Period. He is a better quarterback than Kyle Trask. And I'm not – if you told me any quarterback in this draft became an actual honest-to-God starter outside of the 5 that are going to go in the first round, it's Clayton Tune, and I don't know that it's all that close.
Really?
Just the model of consistency, a ton of starts under his belt. This is the Bill Parcells, how many starts, I want you to have this many snaps. He's the definition of that. Now, his footwork needs Jesus, because there are times that I don't think his brain, his eyes, and his feet are locked in together. But it's all rounding out things. I don't know how high the upside is. I'm not sure that he can't be a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. It's just there's a lot of beauties in the eye of the beholder with him. I think he's got really good drive on the ball, and he's another one like Hendon Hooker. When he's in rhythm, he's hell when he's well, and he ain't never had a temperature. But you're going to have to get him in rhythm.
There is no rhythm to the Buccaneers offense. That's a problem.
Well, when you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, you should have some. But look, he's not a guy you're planning on playing this year. This is a developmental piece, and I'm not sure that he couldn't beat out Kyle Trask for the year.
Because we're all in on Kyle Trask. At 181 overall, Jacorian Bennett, cornerback from Maryland.
Everybody talks about Deonte Banks. This kid was insanely athletic too. And now this is going to get a little cyclical because I love Deonte Banks. I'm not sure that Jacorian Bennett is not going to be – I'm not going to say better. I think he can be close to as good. At Maryland, there is this misnomer that they were just in these friggin' track meets and getting their brains beat out every single week. It's just not true. And the reason was because you had these two corners. Now, I think they play very different schemes because Jacorian Bennett is the guy that he challenges the pass, but he's not necessarily the ball hawk. I mean, he is, but he's not the one that's going to walk away with the interception. He's going to walk away with the ball on the ground.
Right.
That fits better to me with a defense like Todd Bowles. He would come in and be your 3, and I think he's hellacious value here. Nobody talks about him. I'm not really sure why, but he's very instinctive, and I like him a lot. And he's very scheme versatile because he could play in man. I think he's going to be better in zone, though.
196 overall in the 6th round. Tampa, really?
Oh, yeah.
Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver at LSU.
I'm not sure that he didn't just get hammered before he worked out. I'm not sure he hasn't been hammered all year long. This guy was a no-doubt top 10 pick coming into the year. Never fit with Brian Kelly. There's some allegations that maybe some weird shit happened and maybe he liked being in a pile. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it, okay? So you mix that with the workout, he's going to fall like a rock. But I still think he can play in this league. I mean, am I telling you that he's going to be a 1? Oh, good, hell no. Can he be a 3? I mean, I think he can be a 3.
Okay.
I go back to the tape pre-Brian Kelly. I still see the same guy.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm a lifelong Florida State fan. I watched every snap of LSU Florida State, and I think it's where it all started. Because he was completely irrelevant. Talked about a lot, and then it just never really got better.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think there's talent there. Could play a Debo Samuel type role early where you just get him the ball and you have to really teach him to be a receiver in the NFL. But I think he can do that. There are some people that don't even think that he gets drafted, and I can't go that far.
Yeah. The talent is there. The red flags are concerning. But if you can get him in the 6th round, it would make sense for a team like Tampa where you don't have to play him right away. I mean, you got Chris Godwin, you got Mike Evans. He's not going to be a feature piece and expected to do a lot.
He's got more red flags than a girl with a tattoo of a dagger and a name crossed out on her boob. So, I mean, some mistakes have been made here for sure.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a career in the NFL.
At number 252 in the 7th round, the final pick of the 2023 NFL Draft for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in our A-plus mock draft, you give them Chris Murray, center from Oklahoma.
This is a guy that you brought in on a top 30 visit, and this is going to be one of the weirdest things you've ever heard me say. This kid has played more snaps than any player I evaluated in this class. Almost 3,500.
Wow.
And he's raw as hell.
That's a little weird.
Mm-hmm. He's raw as hell. He's very fluid. 5'3", 240 is not impressing anybody, but he moves much better than that. The 40 has hurt him. The fact that he's never really evolved. I still feel like this is the same guy that I saw early on in his career at UCLA. I think he's still the same guy. Played a lot early on a shitty team. Then he goes to Oklahoma, and he still plays a lot. But I never saw him really get better. He's a serviceable player in this league. But if you have an offensive line coach that can get that progression out of him, this is one of those home run, holy hell, how did he last this long kind of picks.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers may not be staring, an NFC championship in the face anymore with Tom Brady gone, but now it's time to build for the future. You do that with the offensive line, add a little bit of pressure on defense with Felix Anudike-Uzomah. I like this A-plus mock draft.
If you like these picks, if you don't like these picks, if you just want to call me a big mullet dipshit, feel free to do that in the comments. I answer all of those. I'm trying my damnedest. I wasn't quite expecting as many as we got yesterday, and hopefully we will continue to get all the way up until we're live for every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft. Starting at 8 o'clock, we will be right here on the TubeU for every pick. Live instant analysis, and there might be just a slew of beers.
Also, you can hit up Flostradamus, Jeremy Green at ESPN Draft Nerd on Twitter. Like this video, share it out with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us whenever we are live here in the Ingles studio. And, of course, we will see you on draft night.